So this is only Taking the Biz, a channel with resources and tutorials for GCSE business students. If you're a first-time watcher, maybe think about subscribing, but make sure you stay tuned, because in this tutorial we're going to be investigating the benefits and limitations of life running a business partnership. So you will already have learnt about a type of business ownership known as sole traders, and we'll pop a link in the corner to a video we've prepared on that for you. But a partnership is an organisation that is owned by two or more individuals, commonly up to 20 different partners. And another common exam question is for us to be quizzed on the advantages and limitations of running a partnership, potentially rather than a sole traders. Now, with a partnership, the fact that we now have multiple people running the organisation means that more than one person can introduce capital when we start that business. So that might mean that we can raise a bigger pot of money to start our organisation with, which might mean that we have more money to invest in the materials and the equipment that we need, on the marketing or the market research that we would like to conduct. And so it might also allow us to start our organisation on a slightly larger scale than if we were starting it by ourselves. The fact that we have multiple owners also means that we now have multiple individuals that can all contribute ideas to the running of the organisation. So different partners might come up with different perspectives, different viewpoints that they can contribute towards the direction the business is moving in. And it might be that some partners think of ideas that one individual might not have considered if they were running their business by themselves. We should also say that having multiple partners running an organisation provides the opportunity for them each to specialise in a different area of the organisation. In a law firm, for example, one of the owners might be a specialist in family law, whilst another is a specialist in personal injury law, and a third partner is a specialist in corporate law, and they can each bring their own areas of expertise or specialism to our business. Whereas if we only have one owner, that one person has to be an expert in all of those areas themselves to run the business as effectively. Now, just like sole traders, partnerships pay a type of tax known as income tax. And with income tax, it's quite useful for people starting smaller business organisations, because for each of the partners, they can earn up to £12,151 before they have to pay any tax. So if the business is going to be operating on a smaller scale than larger organisations might, and might not be achieving the profits, certainly in the early years, that a larger business hopes to achieve, then paying corporation tax might be quite attractive for the owners. The other benefit we could talk about with partnerships is that having multiple owners means that they can cover for each other. So in periods of sickness, or when owners want to take time off or have holidays, the other owners are still there to oversee the running of the organisation, whereas in sole traders, when the owner is away, often there is nobody that they can trust to run their venture in their absence. But partnerships have some limitations, and perhaps chiefly amongst those is that by having multiple partners, the profits now have to be split or shared amongst multiple people. So no one person gets to keep 100% of the profits of the organisation. We've also got, and this is a crucial drawback for many, we have to split the decision making or the control of the organisation with other owners as well. And this brings into play the potential for conflict in the running of our organisation, as different partners might have different ideas or different visions for the organisation that leads to the creation of conflict. And when we have conflict in a business, often it means that the business is not moving forward, that it's standing still whilst the owners try to reach a consensus on the direction that they would like to go in. We could also come back to one of the disadvantages of sole traders when we're looking to critique the problems attached with partnerships, and that's that each partner will have unlimited liability unless, as in some very rare cases, they can apply for limited liability status for some of their partners who've just contributed capital to the business but aren't involved in its day-to-day running. But most partners will have unlimited liability, which means that they have the same legal identity to the business that they're running. So if the business gets sued, it's actually the partners that get sued. And if the business runs up debts and is declared bankrupt, it's actually the owners that are going to be responsible for paying back the debts that the business has accumulated, even if that requires them to use their own personal wealth to fund that debt repayment. So there's definite drawbacks to operating as a partnership, but hopefully that will support you with your revision, and we'll see you soon for another Taking the Biz tutorial.